Welcome back. We are live here, Totem Pole Nation, Monday, the 24th. Thank you guys for starting your morning with Totem Pole Nation. We are heavily representing the cyborg as well. Oh yeah, yep. How we doing? How we doing, Coach? Good to talk to you. Good to talk to you today. How we doing?
Hey, it's Monday and it's marvelous motivation Monday. And, we had a little disagreement over the weekend in Totem Pole Nation between the madness and another man who is my friend, Jim Tim. And hopefully we will overcome that and we will be able to come together because I think some tempers ran hot. And what is your thought on it?
Well, you know what? It kind of reminded me a little bit, of that documentary that they did on the Lakers, that HBO show, Winning Time.
Mm,
You saw there was some animosity between, a Kareem and his, coming down off of his prime and a young Magic Johnson. You know what I mean? A new up and coming guy, and you know, the best teams they battle through adversity, and at the end of the day, they push each other to be better. So I think at the end of the day, that's what it's going to be. I think the one thing that's great about here with Total Pole Nation is that we can agree and disagree on stuff, but at the end of the day, hey man, this is our opinions. Deal with it. You know what I'm saying?
Ric Flair, the Nature Boy, was on the Joe Rogan podcast. Were you able to watch any of that?
No, but you had mentioned that, and I gotta believe that that's got to be a epic podcast. You just have two of the biggest influencers in the world. As I think as the younger guys, those are two guys that you could get a lot of information from. They've been there, they've done that. But yeah, I definitely look forward to that. What was it that they had mentioned that made you bring it up
Well,
and that
one of the things that Ric Flair talked about was how bad of a dude Harley Race was, and that Harley Race was a bad man. But there was another guy that was probably even badder, and he was known for ripping eyeballs out, and that is Haku. And Haku, he said Haku would probably be the UFC world champion if there was a UFC then. So can you talk a little bit about Haku, Ric Flair's friend and your friend?
Well, I'll just say this, man. I've been at some tables with some bad dudes, man. I mean, this guy's like a son to me right here, and he's just head kicking and knocking people out. So, when he was in town, I never felt more safe. But yeah, man, I've eaten at a Legends luncheon, sitting right beside Haku. Ricky Santana there, Cuban Assassin, Frankie Lancaster, legends in the wrestling business. And man, yeah, just such a nice guy, man. He just kept, making sure that I was okay and didn't need anything, man. Just a complete gentleman, and just such a good storyteller. And yeah, man, his stories, for some reason, back in the day, those guys would be out, and the fans, they would go and challenge those guys sometimes. And yeah, man, why you would pick on that guy at a bar, it blows my mind. But yeah, man, he's the real deal, and I totally agree. I've heard from a lot of just a lot of different people. There's stories all over YouTube, all over the internet of Haku pulling people's eyes out and showing them what a jerk they are, and then putting it right back in there, man. He's just a legend. Yeah, man. Love Haku,
Ric
Ming,
Flair said his wife
Tonga.
doesn't let him come out of the house very much.
Who's that?
Haku's wife does not allow him to come out of the house very often because he is so prone to be arrested or sued.
Yeah, man, I think there's places where he's banned from, man. He just can't go there. You know what I mean? Like, there's been times of him battling, several cops to where, they got a gun to his head type deal, him getting handcuffs put on and just, you know, pulling them off like rubber bands on your wrist. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? Yeah, yeah.
Matty Ice can
It's
always do a
legit.
trade. Matty Ice is wanting to be a part of the team. He's already a part of the team, but I
Yeah, he
think he
is.
wants to officially become a member of the on-air portion of Totem Pole Nation. We can
Yeah,
make a
man.
trade.
Yeah,
Favorite
without a
morning
doubt.
show. And then here's another one of our big fans, Jeff. Jeff is a big supporter down there in South Florida. We
Yeah,
appreciate everything Jeff does.
yeah. Matt's up there in Michigan, man. So it's awesome. We got people
From Michigan to South
covering
Florida.
covering the globe. But
So the Lakers, Dylan Brooks said that LeBron James is old. And then the next game, the Lakers come out and proceed to be up by 30, I think, at half. I think Ja Morant scored 49. He never quit. But Dylan Brooks got kicked out of the game. And what do you know about Dylan Brooks?
I don't know, man. Is the guy a clown or what? I saw that posted on Totem Pole Nation. Is the guy a clown? I mean, it's one thing, you call somebody old and then you get tossed out the game and y'all get, just mollywopped. It's not a good look, man. Save all that talk for after the series if you're going to come out there and get ejected like that. What about those Golden State Warriors?
What are they up? Are they
That's
getting eliminated? What's the deal with
they
them?
tied it back. They were down 0-2. Now it's 2-2, man. I had a feeling when all that stuff went down, and they had the ejection that was going to inject some, some animosity into that series. And yeah, man, Curry and the boys, they've evened it up. And yeah, man, it looks like it's going to be a good series. But yeah, man, it looks like the Knicks are going to be advancing here soon. Who else? Who else do we see? Your Boston Celtics are, I believe, up 3-1 now. Yeah, man, we had a devastating loss here in Tampa with the Tampa Bay Lightning Saturday night, man. Saturday night, they were up 1 goal with a minute left, and the Toronto Maple Leafs, tied it up and then went into overtime and beat us. And it was just, it was one of those brutal beats, man. You never want a team to score to tie it up at the very end of the game. Then you lose on your turf. Ooh, yeah, brutal, man.
And Anthony Edwards, who I'm a big fan of. I love that movie he was in with Adam Sandler.
That was a great movie, Coach.
Yeah, his 5th career 30-point playoff game. And the kid's only 22.
Wow.
He trails only LeBron.
Yeah, he's going to be a star, man. He's going to be that next guy that takes that. He's going to take the baton, man. He's going to run with it. Definite
Yeah,
stud. But
he's
yeah,
a
man,
heck of
big
an
week.
athlete.
Big week, NFL draft week, Coach.
When's it start? Thursday?
I believe it's Thursday. Yeah, it's going to be Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And I don't even know. Is it a 4-day deal now? I think it's rounds 1 on day 1, and then it's 2 and
Thursday.
3 on Friday, and then it's what, probably
Saturday
4
and Sunday.
Yeah, yeah, probably.
Matt Davis, if you poke the bear, you got to be good enough to take what the bear gives back. And here he is, the one and the only Jim Tim. So good to see Jim Tim, isn't it, Coach?
Yeah, man, we was worried about him. Sure.
Our great friend, member of Totem Pole Nation, Jim Tim, who is a very, I would say, Jim Tim, if we're the Chicago Bulls, I would say Jim Tim is probably like Tony Kukoc. Where would you put him?
I was thinking more like John Paxson, maybe Steve Kerr, a guy that just comes off the
Steve Kerr.
bench,
I can see the
freaking
Steve Kerr.
cranks a 3. And then he comes over there and yells at the boys when we're acting out. You know what I mean?
I
He's a
think
heck of a
Steve
coach,
Kerr,
man.
because Steve Kerr
Yeah,
and Michael Jordan
that's right,
even
man.
had beef. So,
Man.
Tim, you're the Steve Kerr. You're the guy we go to when we need a three-pointer at Totem Pole Nation. Glad you're here. Matt Davis.
Yeah,
Don't come
I'd
out
like.
to Steph Curry. Think he's the best of the game right now. Being a leader becomes to playoff time. They're hard to beat. I think they can win it again.
I would like to hear Matt and what he comments on as far as his Detroit Lions, who he believes is a playoff team, and not just a playoff team. He believes they're a top tier team. What does he think about these guys with their gambling allegations and now losing one of their top receivers for 6 games? Did you see that, Coach?
I mean, uh,
Betting? Is it betting?
when they made
Gambling?
it legal,
They're playing fantasy football. What are they doing?
I don't know what they're doing, but when they made it legal, come on. The
Yeah.
one rule for any coach or any athlete is you do not gamble on sports. And that's why I do not gamble on sports.
Yeah.
And look at Pete Rose. That was a big discussion on Totem Pole. Should Pete Rose be in the Hall of Fame? They need to put Shoeless Joe in there too. Tim knows.
I like
It was
that, man.
gambling in New York.
Yeah.
Matty the Ice is excited for the NFL draft. Were there any starters that were suspended? Why does Pete Rose get a lifetime ban and then another guy gets 6 games?
Yeah, they made an example out of him, unfortunately.
It was playing blackjack? Are you kidding me?
He's the hit king.
Playing blackjack? So they were not actually gambling on sports.
I don't know about that, man. That doesn't sound legit.
I would stick to that, Tim. Tim was there. He was an eyewitness.
Okay.
And he will testify on a deposition saying that they were just playing blackjack. All right. They weren't gambling on pro football or whether a guy would have a certain amount of carries. Unfortunately, gambling and steroids are a part of the game, and all those guys should be in the hall. So Jose Canseco, Mark McGuire, Roger Clemens. But I think there's a few guys that are in there that were on them. How does Craig Biggio go from only hitting 10 home runs a year to, in the last 2 years of his career, hitting 40? Is Jeff Bagwell in there? He looked like Buff Bagwell.
Yeah.
I told my brother, dude, there's no way that Clemens can go pitch 9 innings, 8 innings, and go get on a treadmill for 2 hours. Like, that is not normal. Nolan Ryan. How is he 45 years old, pitching no-hitters and beating up Robin Ventura? Tim, are you kidding me?
Henderson.
Dude, if you had an Oakland A's uniform on, use steroids. All right, there wasn't anybody that wasn't. They looked like a football team. Dave Henderson, Dave Parker, Ricky Henderson. Dennis Eckersley goes from being a middle-of-the-road pitcher to being the greatest closer of all time. Mark McGuire, Jose Canseco. They look like basically the Avengers. We got some people. We're fired up. They don't deserve to go because they cheated. Well, some people say Tom Brady cheated.
It's very true,
Why
man.
should we put them in the hall? Matt Davis really sucks losing JMO for 6 games. Hope it gets reduced. That rule's messed up. He wasn't even betting on NFL, but glad they outright cut the other 2 players.
Wow.
Is LeBron on the sauce?
That could be another one, man.
There's something out there. Ponce de Leon. I'm no historian, but Ponce de Leon was looking for the fountain of youth a long time ago. And I don't know if it has something to do with Santeria or whatever they call it down there in Brazil, and Tom Brady.
Wise words.
Jeff is from the if you ain't cheating, you ain't trying, Jim Tim. What do you think about that? Pete Rose should be in the Hall of Fame. What are the greediest best players ever to play the game? Charlie Hustle. You talk about Buff Bagwell. Do you know the team he was on? Jeff Bagwell. He was on the Boston Red Sox. He was on the Astros.
Yeah, Astros for a long time.
And let's see, they had Ken Caminiti, Ken Cycle. They had Craig Biggio. I think Brett Boone. Brett Boone wasn't on that team. But, I mean, let's see. Tom Brady, 45. LeBron, 40. He cheated twice. Well, twice, that's not bad. Only twice.
And see,
Kobe was doing the platelet therapy. He was going over there to France doing the platelet therapy or whatever it is. There's something out there. Look, man. There's medicines out there and things out there we don't even know about. I mean, we're just getting Ozempic now. They had that junk 20, 30 years ago. I mean, look at Magic. I mean, there's medicines out there that the totem pole nation don't have access to. Now, maybe the Barstool people do, but not us. We're the low man on the totem pole. And if you're the low man, if you're the downtrodden, if you're the low man in society, we are a part of your team, and you're a part of ours. Matt Davis, J-Mo got busted for betting on sports while being at an NFL facility. It was not NFL. They're allowed to bet. I'm sports, just not NFL games. They can't place bets. Why at NFL facilities? Man, I don't even know if these guys can bet on anything. Here we go. Oh, not the bet. No, Buff Bagwell and Jeff Bagwell are two different people. Right, Coach? You are a resident wrestling expert. Buff Bagwell. Oh, did you know that there was a guy who ran WCW? Come on in, Coach. There was a guy that ran WCW, and I can't think of his name right now, but he wanted to change Ric Flair's gimmick. He wanted to make him into Spartacus. He wanted to change Ric Flair's name, and that sent him into a deep depression. The other two players got 1-year suspensions, apply for reinstatement after 1 year, but they will never be Lions again. Is the madness locked out of the Twitter machine? Well, we don't know.
It's all in the works. It's all in the mix. It's all being discussed. There's rumors that Elon has reached out to the madness. Maybe there was some language that was possibly used or some intimidation stuff. But yeah, they've tried to reach out. So we'll see what's going on with the madness. But as far as we know, locked out of Twitter, blocked out, or kicked out.
The Slim Jim franchise has accused him of impersonating Randy the Macho Man Savage. See, they do not know that the madness actually was the original. He was the one that thought of the Macho Man. He is the original madness. All right. Just like the Iron Sheik really isn't the real Iron Sheik. There's another one. So, Coach, the flex. What is the flex?
Man, I think just empowering others, man. That's the real flex right there. You know what I mean? Just empowering others, making other people feel good. I had a really good friend coming in town out of California. Him and his wife came in. They went to a wedding the other day, ran into a kid he worked with. And the younger kid was just like, man, I miss you so much. I enjoyed working with you so much. I learned so much from you, and I wanted to be like you. And that's what he told him. And my buddy, man, he had no idea about this. And he told me that yesterday. It was just like, man, it almost brought me to tears for this guy to say that, man. It was just like a wake-up call. And that's true, man. That's how it is in life, man. You never know. what kind of influence or what kind of impact you'll have on people. So it's good to inspire. It's good to empower. When you're not doing good, go do something good for somebody. I promise you, man, it's gonna lessen your pain and it's gonna get you back on that path. You know. But
Jim
yeah,
Tim says Ted Turner. Ric Flair actually talks about this.
billionaire Ted.
Yeah, that Ted Turner actually would get his friends to run his businesses. And the guy was just like his friend, and he made him the head of WCW. And this guy wanted to change Ric Flair to Spartacus. This was like around, I think, 2000, 1999. Yeah, he went into a deep depression. And like he said that the guy that managed the Braves was like his next door neighbor until he hired Bobby Cox. And then
Wow.
they started winning. But that Ric Flair, Joe Rogan, man, that is so fun. That is so fun to watch. Man, wouldn't that be something if we could get the Nature Boy, Ric Flair, on this podcast?
Woo!
Would we still be the low man on the totem pole if we had Ric Flair on the podcast?
I don't believe so, man. Talking about the limousine riding,
Okay.
jet
Here,
flying,
they talk about that in there.
kiss stealing, wheeling dealing, son of a gun. I'm having a hard time keeping these alligators down.
Jim Tim, so what are you guys thoughts about blood doping, EPO? Well, I mean, you had the great American, Lance Armstrong. And Lance Armstrong also was one. I mean, I don't think he won his first Tour de France until he was like, 40 or something crazy? I mean, but he said everybody was doing it, but he also, wouldn't admit it when he was winning them. But hey, I guess all is forgiven, but I mean, it's all the same. It's performance enhancement. Barry Bonds, Jose Canseco, Roger Clemens, they should all be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, none of those guys needed steroids.
Yeah, Barry Bonds was a name that you did not drop, and Barry Bonds was a guy too. You look at his picture on his rookie card, and then you look at his last card, and I mean, you're talking about a guy about 180 to a guy that looks like Bill Goldberg, 250.
Yeah, but he was not aware.
And he was an amazing player before all that stuff, man. Definitely.
But Barry Bonds was not aware that he was on performance enhancement drugs. He thought he was on the cutting edge supplements known as the cream and the clear. Okay, he did not know. And what was it that Mark McGuire was on? Androstenedione, what do they call that?
Yeah, he was on like DMA or something.
It was something legal though. He actually was not on steroids. He was on like creatine or something.
Yeah, it's pro hormones.
I mean, it wasn't. I mean,
welcome to the studio, Coach.
He's Matt Davis.
Sorry.
Problem with LeBron, she can only win with superstars around, whether he's cheating or not.
Well, that was a little confusing.
I mentioned this to my class, and I'll mention it to y'all. Was Deion Sanders the first LeBron?
No. I think they're too different.
But I'm saying, did Deion jump around from team to team to win Super Bowls?
Yeah, I think it kind of worked out for him like that. Yeah, man.
I mean, I don't blame him
ahead
for
of his time.
Team.
Yeah, man,
he is ahead of his time. He's ahead of his. He is the guy. He knew branding before anyone. Yeah. Look at that guy's picture on draft day. I mean, dude, he was already. I mean, he had the curl. He had the gold ropes. I mean, he said he was the U, and he wasn't even from the U. That they stole his swag. Did y'all know that?
Mm-mm.
Wow.
No.
So Deion Sanders, Coach Prime, as we call him, They had a sold-out stadium. What do you think about that, Coach Hutch?
I thought it was pretty cool. I saw the one from the year before that was barely full, like 15%. And then just 1 year him there completely sold out. So I think it's pretty awesome what he's doing for the program over there.
Jim Tim, but look what he had to wear with all those sleeves on his arms. I mean, I remember him having like a what's it called, a tracksuit on, man, because of the tendons don't grow as fast as your muscles. Oh, you're talking about Barry Bonds. Barry Bonds, y'all. My dad told me when I was probably about 14, Barry Bonds is the greatest player to ever play baseball. He's better than Willie Mays.
Wow.
That's what he told me. He told me the same thing about Michael Jordan. He said Michael Jordan is the greatest basketball player to ever play the game. Yep. Elbow sleeves.
Yeah, I agree with Michael Jordan, but Barry Bonds is definitely arguable.
Who hit more home runs than Barry Bonds?
Well, Barry Bonds, unfortunately, has that big old fat asterisk next to his number.
Well, they said that Babe Ruth used performance enhancement supplements.
Yeah, his performance enhancing was tobacco and alcohol.
Well, I mean,
and back then, like you could get a concoction for sleep that was codeine and cannabis and
exactly
all sorts of stuff too, and it was all legal.
Amphetamines. I mean, how do we know that these guys from back in the day weren't using performance enhancement?
I have the argument too that of all the major professional sports, the one you need to be the least in shape for is baseball. It's not to say that some guys don't have to train hard for it, but like you can look at some of the great guys, they are not in shape. You could probably argue the next one's golf, but those guys walk 15 miles or whatever. Baseball, you stand around and you wait. You know,
favorite golfer of all time, Coach?
I don't know. I grew up. My dad knew. Was it Funk? Fred Funk? Frank Funk? Fred Funk, I think it was.
Terrell Owens or Chad Johnson? What
is the greatest football player of all time?
They're not even the top 5 receivers.
I wouldn't put them up there at all.
But Jim Tim, I love having you on here. You are like an instigator.
Ocho Cinco.
You're almost like a troll. I mean, but we know who you are. You're not hiding. You're Jim Tim. They can't play without people around them. So that's he's talking about Terrell Owens or Chad Johnson. I like Chuck Daly.
Yeah.
Chuck Daly is my favorite golfer of all time. And if you watch him on Nelk Boys, watch him on the Full Send podcast from the Family Restaurant. It's a family environment, the chicken wing place. John Gruden's favorite restaurant. He's going to win 6 games this year. Okay, that's Neon Dion, right? Dion. Prime time's going to win 6. Come on over here, Coach.
When is he going to be in the SEC?
We have a guest in the building. Come on over here, Coach McMillan. Coach McMillan, come on over here. I want you to meet somebody. Jim Tim, meet your new nemesis. Come on over here.
Barry Bonds.
Just say hi. I want you to meet Jim Tim.
Come on, Kelly, hop on.
This guy right here knows more about sports than anyone in America. Jim Tim is going to challenge you to a trivia battle. No, he's not. And he's also an expert in WWE divas. I'm talking about Barry Bonds and those other guys. Trish Stratus turning heel. I call him the Coach Socrates. What is your IQ? It's higher than that. I've heard IQs can go up to 300. 150 is a genius, and you are 150. Mine is 75. Coach Anderson, Coach Bald. What's the update on the cyborg?
We should be hearing some breaking news here, possibly as soon as today. So keep your feelers out, keep on edge. We may have found somebody crazy enough to get locked in the cage with them. It's a hard thing trying to find people that want to step in there with that man.
Brock Lesnar. Let's
Oh, I
call
would
him
love
out.
to see that. Yeah, yeah.
Let's call him out right now.
Brock Lesnar versus Cyborg. Brock's getting up there in age a little bit. I tell you what, the guy that I was watching this weekend, it was a UFC fight night. It wasn't the greatest of cards, but the main event, Sergey Pavlovich versus Curtis Razor Blades. Curtis got knocked out in the first round, and this guy, Sergey Pavlovich, has not left the first round in the UFC. So I was thinking, I mean, he's next in line for a title shot. But I think him and Cyborg would be an incredible fight. They both just have crazy knockout power.
And coach, that same guy, that same individual you're talking about, he had a match early, like at one of his first UFC fights. He went up against a guy that was all roided out, and I believe that might be his only loss. And after the fight, they had found out that the guy, was roided out. And so that put a big blemish on his career. And like you were saying, that other fighter, man, Blades, there was a lot of talk this week about him and Johnny Bones Jones. So that went out the door with him getting KO'd. But I totally agree. Like, that guy is a young up-and-comer. He's a stud. And heck yeah, man, I would love to see Cyborg get a crack at that guy.
Yeah, I think you mentioned John Jones too. I mean, I think John Jones is going to beat up Sergey. There's just no better fighter in the world than John Jones. The guy is a dynamic fighter. But, Cyborg, you got a heavy-hitting heavyweight. Sergey, another heavy-hitting heavyweight. Put those two in the octagon together, guarantee fireworks.
Yeah, amen to that, man. I would like to see, John Jones is just a different animal, man. I mean, he's so much quicker than other guys. There's going to have to be somebody that is a wrestler that is, every bit of that 265 that can really wrestle to try to take that guy to the ground, because I don't think any of these smaller heavyweights is going to have a chance at getting that man down. You know what I mean? He's just so quick.
Small, take down defense is crazy. The guy, like I said, just dynamic. The things that he can do, like he throws those short little elbows in there. Man. Like some of that stuff is just crazy.
Mm-hmm. It's going to take somebody to really, get in there and get that ankle and take him to the ground. And I just think people are too scared to go in there. He's so dynamic.
Closest one was Daniel Cormier, and he never was able to knock him off. And I tell you what, I would have loved to have seen, if Cain Velasquez didn't have all that crazy stuff going on in his life, opportunity for him and John Jones to fight, I think would be a crazy fight, because there you got a great wrestler and jiu-jitsu guy. He's also a pretty good striker against, the greatest of all time, John Jones.
Yeah, without a doubt. When you do have those guys that are such great wrestlers, a lot of times it just cancels it out, and then boom, now you just got a fist fight, So definitely, I do it. Like, Cain is just one of those guys, man, at 240 pounds. You just saw him manhandling Brock Lesnar, who's, NCAA champion in wrestling. You see a guy like Cain Velasquez taking him down with ease. Some people are just, they're just born with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Tim, I meant that you were gaslighting me.
I think we lost Tim. I think that's what he was saying was see you later.
Yeah. No, he's saying that I'm calling him a troll, and I just meant that you were instigating. All right, no, I wasn't being personal or anything. I'm sorry, but I mean, when you throw Terrell Owens and Chad Johnson's names up as the greatest of all time, I mean, I just misunderstood you, Jim. All right, so I've upset Tim. I meant that you were just instigating me, Jim. Okay, I'm sorry.
I think I hear Jim Tim in the background to Coach Bald.
Hold on, let me get the dog over here.
Anything personal about that? I meant that you were instigating. I thought that you meant that Terrell Owens and Chad Johnson were the greatest, but you didn't. You said that they needed talent around them. So I understand what you meant. That's why it's better we talk face to face.
Yeah.
What about the boxing match? How much did people pay for that boxing match?
Man, that rib shot was beautiful. The tank caught him right in the rib, and man, it's been a long time since I've seen a guy take a couple steps back and then just go to his knee. And the ref and everybody, the whole crowd, just like, wow, beautiful body shot, man, beautiful body shot. And yeah, I don't know, I got the loaded fire stick, so it was free for me.
Yeah, I pay for all pay-per-view events.
Hey, I wanted to ask you this, Coach Hutch, with Sarah Blake Cheek and her wrestling, where can we watch the replay? Is it at the MCW?
I'm not
site?
certain. I'd have to reach out to her and check and see.
Yeah, man, I'd love to see that. And let me tell you what, too. One of I believe the Sunday show that she did, it was all female wrestling. And I'll tell you what, I've been and seen so much different wrestling, dude. The all female shows are so good. They kind of remind me of, when the women get in there for the UFC fights, man, they just almost fight like they're fighting for their kids. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like some of the guys, the men in the UFC, I mean, it's awesome. But some of these guys are getting their arm ripped out, and dude, they tap. You know what I mean? That's what you do. Dude, some of these ladies, they will not tap. They'll wait for them to snap their arm because it's like they're fighting for the kids. And when you watch the women do the wrestling, my gosh, man, it is so amazing that they're able to, do some of these moves at even, a higher level than the guys are. And it is, man, it's awesome to see all women's wrestling, dude. I love it. They have WOW now on TV. I don't know if you guys have spotted that, but man, WOW is an amazing show. And I believe the owner of the Lakers, Jeannie Buss, is affiliates with WOW.
Yeah, I checked out that show, and then what was that? That was Netflix. Did one based on that. But yeah, I mean, I think if we could
Glow, that was Glow.
Oh, Glow, yeah, that's right, Glow.
Yep.
The gorgeous ladies of wrestling.
Yeah,
Right. You remember that, right, Coach?
Yeah, I remember it. It was great.
Yeah, but they do.
Yeah,
They
man.
have
Look
on
up.
on CW, I believe on Saturdays they have it's WOW, Women of Wrestling, and yeah, man, it's a very impressive product. The ring looks a little bit smaller, so it's definitely intense. But yeah, what's we got a big podcast tonight, Coach. Tell us about it.
Well, Coach Wackenheim, who was office coordinator at Liberty, and he was tight end coach with the Redskins, Jim Zorn, and then he was the offensive line coach at UVA. And he may or may not have been a part of telling Coach Hutch that no, he wasn't there then because Ron Prince is the O-line coach. He was too short. That was Coach Groh. Coach Groh will be coming on, but he's in Portugal right now. And he was the head coach at VMI. And he's going to come on and talk about spring recruiting. He's going to give advice to players. He's going to give advice to coaches. And we're just excited to have that opportunity.
I think it's great. The more that these kids can hear from these college coaches and see what it really takes. What was it last week? We did our 40s or shuttles and our L drills. And I tell you, as much as exciting it was to see some of these guys, it was humbling for a lot of them that believe that they have the D1 talent. And some of them have the talent on the field. But when you see their 40 times or their shuttle time, they learned about how much they have to actually grow. And it's not just the physical side of things too, like we talk about all the time, as a school side of things. Then it's also, nowadays it's about your own, everybody's branded, got to have their own brands. But college coaches, they're not looking for the brand. They're looking for somebody that could, the puzzle piece that could fit in. So
how do you feel about the Virginia High School League looking into potential NIL deals for athletes?
I don't understand it, if that's real. You just look at, like, I know some players that played in the NFL in the 1990s and such, and like, you look at how much money they made. Like, those guys were working like second jobs, winning Super Bowls and having to work a second job. Unless you were a Brett Favre or one of these guys with big endorsement deals, you're not making bad money, but you're not making the millions that they're making now. Now you got basketball players making $800,000 to play college basketball. You got football players, all these players getting millions of dollars.
But are they getting paid to play, or are they just making like Johnny Manziel? He was signing autographs. Like, he actually was not getting paid to play football. I mean, if a high school kid wants to sell his autograph on eBay, I think they should be allowed to.
Yeah, I don't see a problem with that at all. You know, the thing that I would have a problem
jeopardize
with
their amateur status.
So-and-so Ford, so-and-so Toyota, so-and-so company comes in and say, hey, we're going to offer you, X amount of dollars, and you're going to come on our commercials, and every time that you have an interview, you're going to shout us out. I mean, it's going to turn into NASCAR. Everybody's going to have all the different sponsors all over them, like the UFC. I mean, the UFC got rid of that a while back, just going into a thing. You saw these big flags that had 60 or 70 sponsors on it, and UFC signed a deal with Reebok, said no more, and they wore UFC everything and no more banner flags, and they had to do it outside of there. And that upset a lot of people, but it made it a little bit more fair.
Does Shaq own Reebok?
I don't know. He might be part owner. Shaq owns a lot of stuff.
Shaq and ABG were in a bidding war of sorts. Reebok in 2021. Eventually, the former duo won out as they bought them from Adidas for $2.4 billion. Shaq and Master P and Baron David. Do you think? Yeah. Wow. Man, Shaq is the man. Were you a Shaq fan, Kyle? You were.
Oh man, without a doubt, man.
Who wouldn't be a Shaq fan? I mean,
yeah.
Everybody. The only thing people ever really complain about Shaq
on
free throws. But
How about that? How about that album? Right, the Shaq album.
It was good.
I gigged on him.
It was good.
Yeah, man.
It was good.
He changed the game, man. He was the big man that would just rip rims down. Who has ripped more rims down than Shaq?
I mean, what brought back memories for me, Shaq Fu, Shaq's fighting game.
Man. Yeah, you're right. He was a game changer, man.
1994. He was a game changer. Shaq Fu. And then Steel. What was it? The first one? Kazam. Blue Chips, of course, but like all sorts of different stuff that he got into after that.
Neon Bedeau. That was his name in Blue Chips. Neon Bedeau. But yeah, man, I would figure, the Virginia High School League would have bigger fish to fry or have bigger problems. Like, why aren't they investigating how to get high school coaches and assistant coaches more money?
Yeah, I agree with that. I also agree with player safety. That's been an issue I've had since I started coaching. Yeah, they could definitely work on a whole lot of different stuff.
They should be in contact with tip of the spear.
I'm supposed to be talking to Dr. Hahn today. I texted him over the weekend, and I mean, they're an organ. I mean, dude, the Virginia High School League is a nonprofit, I believe. It's just a collection of schools and principals. It's a governing body. So, I mean, they have nothing to do with how much coaches get paid. That's up to, local municipalities or governments or counties or cities or whatever. But, yeah, I mean, I think coaches in Virginia make more than they do in Florida, which is crazy.
Yeah, that is true. But then you go to another state, big state like Texas. Like my buddy went down there. The head football coach makes $150K. Doesn't have to teach.
Georgia too, man. They're making some big coin there in Georgia.
Yeah, Florida. I took a $8,000 pay cut moving down there.
That's because you're moving to paradise. Look at that. Look at that sunrise. Is the sun even risen today?
It did. Yeah, it's overcast right now.
Yeah, Coach Bald, a good buddy of mine, June 1st, is moving down to St. Pete.
No way.
Yeah, and I told him to stop by, and they're thinking about even making a culture cultivate wellness down there too. And I was like, that'd be perfect considering, we'd have both sponsors right by each other and
Without a doubt, man.
together.
That would be perfect. That'd be a great deal.
Hey, Coach Ball, see if you can level your head with our head on the camera, so we're all even. You know, can you move your camera down or no?
Let's sit down.
Now you have to. You know, man, I was just thinking like it would look good if we were all equal levels. You know, it's like we're the Brady Bunch. The Brady Bunch.
Fraggle Rock.
The Brady Bunch.
Let's
That's
get some.
how
Can we get this going? Can we get this going? Huh?
I'll send mine over.
Dude, I think it's time I make a new graphic, because the last graphic I made was the New Kids on the Block. It was the New Kids on the Pole. But I think it's time to make a Brady Bunch one. And I think our pictures need to be on it. I think Jim Tim's picture needs to be on it. I think Madden's picture needs to be on it. And we're going to do
my boys. Bring it in, guys. Bring it in.
Jim Tim. Oh, you just said that. I just pictured Jim Tim going, Marsha. Barry Bonds. Jack Nicholson.
Dude, Jim's very just Jim, we're sorry. I'm sorry, dude. That you were upset. I did not mean it personal. I just meant it seemed like you were trolling me. You were gaslighting me. Coach Bald, Coach Hutch, can you help me out here? All right, with this.
I don't know.
I just shouldn't have said it.
There's a lot of other things going on.
I just saw Terrell Owens and Chad Johnson's names, and I thought that he meant they were the GOATs. Okay, and I'm sorry. I who is that guy? There he is.
Just got out of probation. Let me on.
Send them the link, Coach. Send them the link.
But we got to get rolling.
All right, we'll have them on tomorrow.
Tomorrow's show.
We'll have a kumbaya.
Coach Ball, tell us about the special going on at St. Pete Rejuvenate.
Yes, click on right now, stpeterejuvenate.com. You're getting a free month. Get that beach body ready. All right, enter the contest. As soon as you click on, boom, something's gonna pop up. Just enter your information, and we'll get you hooked up, man. It's beach season. You know, you can get the goods in May. By June, you'll be looking good. You'll be dropping some LBs. Get you ready, dialed in for the summertime. Yeah, St. Pete Rejuvenate. Check us out on the website, and we do everything. You know, if you're depressed, severe depression, ketamine infusions, we can take care of that and everything as well. So give us a shout, and give us the insight on Cultivate Wellness if you could, Coach.
Yeah, so check out cultivatewellness.com. They've got all your CBD needs, full spectrum gummies, broad spectrum capsules, all sorts of different things that will help you out. Like I said last time, biggest thing going on right now is the 2,000 milligram muscle rub. So if you have any aches or pains, you just rub that right on there. It is fantastic. Make that stuff pretty much disappear. And then another thing for the older generation out there, if you're having any issues with their hands, they got an unscented CBD hand cream that has made people my mom is playing guitar now at 68 years old, not being able to do anything for a long time, putting this stuff in her hands. She's fully got dexterity and she's limber, all that good stuff in her hands.
Great.
So cultivatewellness.com, check them out. You can follow them on social media, cultivatew. But yeah, check them out. Send them messages. They'd be happy to talk to you about any of those needs. So Coach Taylor, what's your life lesson for today before we head off on this wonderful Monday?
My life lesson is words have meaning. And when you call someone a troll, or you're like a troll, that may hurt their feelings. And I did not mean to hurt my friend's feelings. I just thought that he was instigating me. And I'm sorry for what I said. And I will never say it again. Okay? I thought you were instigating me, Jim Tim. So that's my life lesson. Words have meaning.
Coach Bald?
Hey, just, go empower somebody. Go make somebody feel good. Go make somebody smile. If you're sad, Go improve somebody else and see what happens. You know, go make them happy. Go make them smile. It's all right to compliment people. Okay, compliments are cool. You know, being funny is fun. You know what I mean? Making people laugh, bringing out a smile in people, it becomes contagious. So get out there today and go do that.
I agree. Second that. Just, you know, you never know the effect that you have on people. You know, one look, one smile, one laugh, something like that could change a whole person's perception of the day. So yeah, make a positive impact in somebody's life.
Does my mic sound as good as Coach Hutch's? Coach Bald.
They sound similar. His voice just sounds better than yours, Coach. Sorry about that, but he's just got
that's what a true friend is. I'm not upset.
He's got the golden voice. I mean,
he has an amazing voice. Me, I don't even know how I talk. Super Destroyer X coming out, and he defended Sarah Blake Cheek, and he defended Jim Tim.
Yeah,
I look forward to seeing more from Super Destroyer X. Coach, I know you got to go.
Yeah, Totem Pole Nation, we love you. Thank you so much for the support. Thanks for watching in the mornings. And check out the College Football Coaches Clinic or the Football Coaches Clinic to check out Coach Taylor talk to a multitude of college coaches, especially young guys out there. Check them out so you know what to expect by the time you get that first year in college.
Turkey Hunting 101. Turkey Hunting 101. Totem Pole Outdoors. Coming soon.
All right.
All right, Coach Disrespectful Energy, gonna hook that one up.
Coach Disrespectful Energy is coming.
Nice.
And Coach Bald and him will be working on how to pick up women podcast. I mean, dude, I'm not saying you are. I'm saying you're gonna teach the younger generation. You know, be a nice guy.
Hey, it's important. It's important.
Well, nice guys finish last.
Be a nice guy.
All right, Totem Pole Nation, to the next episode.
I'll see y'all later.